What does it mean to succeed? What does it mean to fail? And do we really fail? As Richard Rudd says, it's a human habit to view events in our lives as successes or failures. And we're going to dive into that in this Gene Key 32. Welcome to my new home. I'm sitting on the back deck of my new home, my float home. It's only been three, 4 days, and I'm actually a little bit late. I failed to fit into the sun transit as I normally do. But as I moved into this new space, we were going through Gene Key 32, and so I've been contemplating this one a lot. And because this is such a big transition for me to move provinces and to move from living on land to living on the sea, a lot has been up for me. A lot of emotion, and my mind has been going on a little bit of the monkey mind, and yet I'm practiced enough to not believe the thoughts going through the mind. And I'll probably share some more personal stuff as I have been sharing this journey of moving and letting go of an old life, really living in Ontario and living out here on Vancouver Island in BC, in this beautiful bay moored here on the island. And let's dive into the shadow, the gift, and the city. And we'll ascend through the frequencies as we move through this video. So the shadow is failure. The gift is preservation. And the city is veneration. So Richard Rudd speaks about the dilemma in the shadow is panic. And there's this inner panic, and that leads to how we make decisions in our life. Because, as he said, there's this fear of failing at life, this fear of failing in relationships, this fear of failing in our business. And a lot of time that can drive our decision-making process at the shadow frequency. And he also dives into, like, what is failure? You know, we can, at one level, see that there really is no such thing as failure. And a failure is just, in disguise, a way of moving us onto our more authentic path in life. Although at the shadow level, we won't view it that way. And you know, we have the individual failure of, you know, failing in business or failing in relationships. We have the collective failure of, you know, as a humanity, not being able to end wars or, you know, end famine. And he's, you know, it's just to really look at failure, we have to sort of look at success, the opposite of that. Because in the shadow level, in the lower frequency, we view the world through a dualistic lens. So, you know, what is success? And as I was moving into this new space, and if you're new to my journey, I've shared that I've moved 7 times. This is my 7th move in 7 years. And, you know, some people may view that as a failure, like you can't stay grounded, or I don't know. I might myself have inner stories of that, of, you know. And definitely when I moved in here, I had, you know, I've sort of moved into a smaller space and I've got overwhelmed with, you know, all the stuff that we accumulate, even though I've moved 7 times. And definitely had to be very mindful of where my thoughts were going and to trust the process. And as Richard Rudd speaks about through his long, many years of contemplating life, you know, what is our purpose here? And ultimately, it's just about living well. And that takes us into the gift frequency of preservation. Preservation is about what is it that we want to preserve? What are the values? What are the ways of living and being that we want to preserve and pass on through the generations? That we want to, first of all, just live for ourselves. And for me, a part of living small in a smaller float home is preserving and the values of of living simply, of being immersed in nature, being connected to the land, being connected to the elements, being connected to community. Here in a marina, it's very community oriented with the few other homes that are here. And this process of moving, and so many times as I have, has been one of refining what I really do value and what makes a home for me. And it's been a number of years for me of diving into the ways that I feel I have failed in life because it didn't fit what I was programmed to believe living well looked like. And it's been a journey of finding my unique path of what living well really means for me. And, you know, a part of living well is the ability to move slow, to have time to contemplate, to be still, to enjoy simple pleasures like the rain falling on the water. I've been mesmerized watching the raindrops just fall on the sea. What does living well mean to you, and how has that changed? I'd love to hear as we move into the city, the highest expression of this Gene Key 32, veneration. As with most of the cities, they're sometimes, maybe always, challenging to talk about. For me, veneration is a word that I don't know well. I think about it more in a religious sense. But the way that Richard Rudd speaks about it is like once you slow down, make that time to contemplate and really get to know your inner self, and are making decisions that come from that place versus coming from panic and that fear of failing at life, or fear of not living out your purpose or dying with your song in your heart. When you develop that trust that starts to happen at the gift frequency, you open yourself to greater wisdom, and you become someone who is creating a new lineage. You're tapping into the lineage from the past, and then you're sharing something forward into the future. And he asked the question, you know, what is your legacy? What is it that you might be leaving behind when your time is done here on earth? And I've been contemplating that for myself, and the passion, the purpose, the mission that I feel in my cells is definitely one about following your unique path, no matter what that looks like, no matter what judgments you might get from the people around you, and staying true to that. And I'm definitely still on that journey, but I feel like that is such an important message in these times. I feel that crises that occur in our life and crises that occur for our humanity are there to wake us up, to push us, to force us to, hopefully with grace, pull us onto our most aligned path. Because when we are honoring our values and honoring what truly nourishes us and makes us feel happy, we are healthy, the earth is healthy, and we are at one with the cosmos, with nature, and there is a harmony there. And I think that is what more and more humans are waking up to. And sometimes it's really hard to see for ourselves what it is that's in our way of preserving what is truly important to us and what we want to leave behind for our children. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video.